listening to your brain on air. The program will begin shortly. Enjoy.
Słuchasz swojego mózgu na antenie. Program rozpocznie się za chwilę. Miłej zabawy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Your Brain on Air. I am your host, Ollie Boat Larson, and you picked the wrong house, fool. That's a nice reference for my San Andreas people out there. How we doing today, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Excuse me, folks. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing tremendous. Happy Wednesday. Happy November 19th. It's a beautiful one. I'm feeling great today. It's been a productive day for me. Oddly enough, very productive, very good. Gotten a lot of shit done. And now I'm here to record this for you. I'm here to talk about the latest happenings. Folks, there's a lot that we need to touch on. There's a lot in the zeitgeist, quite frankly, that I think a lot of people might be missing if they are not watching ABC News, if there's people that are just like, if you're not a parent, maybe it's not awareing to you or something like that. I don't know. My language skills are not 10 out of 10 today, but my thinking is 50 out of 10. So, with that being said, I think we should just hop right into it. Wouldn't you agree? Let's go ahead. Our first story, folks, I'm going to warn you, this is a bit of a serious one. I feel as though it's important to cover. I know that it's not always fun to cover the most, intense of stories, but, this is truly stuff that I think everyone should be aware of, whether or not you have a kid, whether or not you are looking to be a parent, like whether or not you have nieces, nephews. This matters to literally every person who maybe is aware of children in your environment that are on Discord or on apps like that. Those, just a fair warning. As someone who, I never did like any of the major social medias like that, the chat room sites, anything like that. I had friends though that would go on these chat rooms and they'd get into conversations with like 23-year-olds. They would get like, you know what I mean? Like they would get on FaceTime and then here they would end up like, they'd like pull up their shirt and then guess what? That person screenshots it. They send it to your family. They blackmail you. And it's like, that's the internet, unfortunately. And that's exactly why I stayed off of it, because I wasn't a dumb shit. So I want to bring to everyone's attention a recent finding by the FBI of a group, the Internet Global Network Group 764, having new details revealed about them being what is labeled not necessarily domestic terrorist organization, but the levels at which they're operating. These people are in the United States. They are around the world. It's affecting people here and now. So let's lay the groundwork here. The 764 network is a disturbing, loosely connected online criminal group that law enforcement describes as a, quote, nihilistic, violent, extremist organization. It reportedly began around 2021 when a teenager named Bradley Chance Cadenhead, aka Felix or Brad764, used Discord to groom and manipulate children. Although Cadenhead had since been arrested and sentenced, the network has fragmented and continues to spread globally through platforms like Discord, Telegram, Roblox, Minecraft, Instagram, and X. So this is on like basic game websites, things like that. I'm not saying that you need to be a helicopter parent, but you need to make sure that your kid knows just to not talk to people. Or to stay off of Roblox in general. I wouldn't recommend it for a lot of kids. I play it because I played it a lot when I was a kid. And the games on there are low-key fun. I always played Survive the Natural Disaster, because that's my favorite. Federal authorities. Oh, and I know everybody hates tycoons, but me and my sister play tycoons a shit ton. I'm getting into obbies lately with my fiance. Like there's been a renaissance of Roblox now that all the kids are getting banned. It's pretty great. Anyways, federal authorities, including all 55 FBI field offices, are deeply concerned. There are reportedly 250 open investigations related to 764, the network accused of recruiting vulnerable minors, particularly those with mental health issues, loneliness, or suicidal ideation, and building trust to escalate the abuse. The tactics used by 764 are particularly chilling. Members allegedly coerce children into producing child sexual abuse material, CSAM, as is known by like local law enforcement and such. self-harm, like carving or cut signs or blood signs into their bodies. You know what I mean? That's like, sorry that this is, I should put a trigger warning in general, but I think that you don't need a trigger warning. This is real bullshit that you need to know about. You don't need that sort of a thing. Violence against animals and even suicidal threats. They are reportedly using this blackmail and swatting, threatening to expose victims or calling false police report emergencies to intimidate them. Part of the network's internal messaging, according to investigators, encourages desensitization to violence and even glorifies mass casualty events. So they like start talking to these kids about like Columbine, all these sorts of things. It's essentially the most extremist group that you can think of right now that are trying to get into children's heads and create little, you know, what's the kid's name? Thomas Crooks, the kid who shot Trump. That is exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to get in your kids' heads and they're trying to create little psychos that are ready to go up on slanted roofs. So this is particularly horrifying. I think that it needs to be brought to people's attention because there's not enough conversation going on around it. There have been several major law enforcement actions. For example, Jack Rocker, a 19-year-old affiliated with the group, was sentenced in March 2025 to 84 months in prison for possession of CSAM. In April 2025, two alleged leaders of a subgroup called 764 Inferno, Prasen Tippy Nepal and Leonidas War Varagianis, were arrested. According to publicly available court documents, they stand accused of grooming, extorting, and operating a child exploitation enterprise. In terms of ideology, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not much known here. The network appears to pull in extremist and occult influences. Some reports link the group's philosophy to neo-Nazi, Satanist, and Order of the Nine Angles, which is a particular subdivision of I can't even describe it. If you don't know about the Order of the Nine Angles, that's probably the most important thing. Everybody knows about neo-Nazis, everybody knows about the Satanist groups, but Order of the Nine Angles, we're gonna give a basic rundown of what it is. The Order of the Nine Angles is a decentralized, secretive, neo-Nazi and satanic extremist network that it originated in the United Kingdom in the 1970s. It had gained notoriety for its promotion of violent and extreme ideology that combines occultism, mysticism, and far-right accelerationist beliefs that are linked to numerous real-world terror plots and violent crimes that have been done by its adherents. And, they're known for their spiritual path, like the sevenfold way that requires adherents to transgress societal norms and laws to achieve personal transformation. It's rooted in mysticism, paganism, all that kind of freaky shit that is anti-Christian and all that sort of stuff. It's true. It's factually accurate to say. Although not all of its members seem strictly adherent to the ideology, and they don't seem like it's motivated all of them. Rather, part of them are drawn to the power, the status, or the thrill or the control of abduction. You know what I mean? Law enforcement is treating 764 partly as a domestic extremist threat, given its recruitment of vulnerable youth and its broader goals of social destabilization. Let's go ahead and let's review these, excuse me. Let's go ahead and let's review this clip from ABC 11, just so we can get, a bit of a broader picture.
That is what is so scary. The agency confirming that the victims of 764 right here in North Carolina. We first told you about the danger of 764 earlier this year. Our investigation showed you how the man from High Point was arrested and is now facing charges waiting trial in connection with 764. In the 6 months since our investigation, the FBI says cases involving the violent network continue to grow and have devastating consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Jay's not in my life anymore. I couldn't grasp that.
Leslie Taylor, along with her husband, share the heartbreaking loss of their 13-year-old son, Jay.
They took advantage of Jay's loneliness and his kindness, and then they completely preyed on his insecurities.
In an interview with ABC News, Jay's parents share how their son died by suicide after authorities say a member of the global network known as 764 pushed him to take his own life. The FBI says members of 764 aim to wreak havoc and upend society by befriending kids on social media and gaining platforms before demanding often violent and sexual content from them. when we first brought you our investigation into 764 in May. The FBI said one of their alleged leaders of 764 living in our state, Prasan Nepal of High Point, was arrested and charged with operating global child exploitation enterprise. He has pled not guilty as his case works its way through the justice system. In May, our investigation, in collaboration with ABC News, revealed that the FBI was conducting 250 investigations across the country tied to 764 and similar networks. In the 6 months since, the FBI confirms their investigations have grown to more than 350. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says this year alone, it's on track to receive nearly 2,000 reports of abuse tied to 764 or similar online networks, much of it starting on popular online platforms.
All just this
As
year.
for the Taylors,
I couldn't live with myself not making this push now, making it public, because if I read a story like Jay's, after Jay's passed, we failed Jay in this endeavor.
they say they're now fighting for accountability from lawmakers and also online platforms to have more protections in place to prevent a network like 764 from getting access to teens.
Okay, agreed, kind of. Listen.
And when it comes to help for parents worried about whether their child could fall victim to 764, experts say parents can never be too involved, as you need to know what your kids are doing on social media, on the platforms, applications, and online games.
Definitely.
And dangers can just happen so fast. Also, make sure your kids know it is okay to come to you, educators, or police if they get caught up in online dangers. And lastly, engagement is key. The FBI also stressing this network known as 764 isn't just about financial gain, instead bringing pain, terror, and causing harm to people. So all very scary.
Let's hope parents have those conversations with their kids tonight.
Yeah.
Watching this reporting from the I-Team. Diane.
Guys,
Diane, thank you.
it's the 70s again. It's the 1970s again. There's political assassinations. There's bitches getting shot in the neck. There's people getting shot for their political points of views. Cults are going around trying to get kids to kill themselves. It's a weird moment. I think COVID was kind of a Kennedy assassination moment where people are started. I started taking mushrooms after COVID. I'm a part of the movement of the hippies and whatnot. I hate saying it, but I think that moment in time kind of broke the minds of a lot of people. And now that you got people actually losing it, I'm really getting worried. I'm really worried that we're in another extremist time, and I feel like it's self-evident, and I feel like there's not much I can do to say to disagree with it. I'm worried about another George Wallace. I'm worried about more of these. I'm worried about I don't know. I'm really worried, and I feel like a lot of people should be too. Listen, if you're a parent, there's nothing that you can do except for just keep monitoring, keep an eye on their shit. If they have shit on their phone, there's ways of hiding it. So I would say just limit phone use at all. Maybe even don't get your kid a phone except for a flip phone, because that's probably the best move entirely. It's going to be better for their social life. It's going to be better for them for their brain. They'll start playing board games, reading, and shit like that. And also the idea that these people, I have great sympathy for the situation that they are in, that their child fell victim to this group and whatnot. To an extent, you cannot. Why are you suing Discord? I understand that they are supposed to, to some extent, be able to come in and step in all of these sorts of situations. They're supposed to have a level of monitoring. I agree with that sort of stuff. But you are also, I'm sorry, parents have a degree of responsibility in this that is greater than any social media group, because the social media groups, they are just creating a product. You are choosing to put it in the hands of your child. I'm sorry. You got to bear some responsibility around it. But actually, I think, folks, this is just something to keep your eye on. If you are a parent, keep your eye on this group. Keep an eye on anything surfacing in the news. There's more reports of these people targeting people every day. It's worrisome, and it's something we all have to keep an eye on. So, in the meantime, I think that we should actually just move on to the ad, because I think that this will actually help out quite a few people in this situation. Folks, are you tired of parenting? Do you wish your child's moral development came with an on-off switch? Introducing Interlock Pro, the digital babysitter that lets you block questionable content and responsibility of explaining anything to your offspring. Why teach media literacy when you can just not? Interlock Pro filters out every difficult topic, uncomfy question, or learning moment so that you can just enjoy the sweet silence of a kid raised entirely by the algorithm. It's like outsourcing parenting without without the guilt, because hey, it's for their safety. So relax, kick back with your phone while Interlock Pro keeps your child safe, sheltered and pleasantly uneducated. Interlock Pro, because raising kids is hard, but avoiding it is one click away. Thank you very much, people. I appreciate it. Interlock Pro, code YBOA for your first whatever, blah, blah, blah. All right. Next story, we have Warner Brothers whoring themselves out, placing themselves up on the stage, up for bids, selling to the highest bidder. The likely winners are going to be Paramount and David Ellison, but, whatever. Warner Brothers Discovery, which is, because they merged earlier, WBD, recently has announced that it has launched a comprehensive review of the strategic alternatives after receiving what it calls, quote, unsolicited interest from multiple parties. This means that the board is evaluating a wide range of options, including selling the entire company. Fascinating, right? Splitting off just the Warner Brothers side or reworking the planned corporate separation. WBD has already laid the groundwork earlier this year for a split by mid-2026, separating into two public companies, one focused on streaming and studios, Warner Brothers, and the other on legacy cable networks, Discovery Global, which, would have been a decent idea. But now, the outside interest mounting, the board is opening up to deviating from that plan. Some of the most prominent names being floated as potential acquirers include Paramount via Skydance-backed entity, Comcast, and Netflix. Paramount Skydance, in particular, has been reported to have made several offers, though WBD has rejected its bid so far, believing them to be too low. They are unconfirmed reports that WBD is pushing for as much as $30 per share, a premium over what Paramount has offered to this date. According to some reporting, Warner Brothers board may provide an update on its decision-making by December, potentially announcing whether it will proceed with its split, accept a sale, or pursue a different structure altogether. Meanwhile, WBD stock has responded strongly. After the announcement, the stock jumped to around 11%, suggesting investors are betting on a major deal. This is going to mean a lot because Warner Brothers Discovery, keep in mind, they are the ones working on the Batman. They're the ones working on everything DC coming out right now. So if they are doing a sale, they're going to get a full rework. James Gunn might not even be in power anymore. God forbid we get any more fucking soundtracks from the Gen X mind of him. For God forbid, we have one more, I don't know. We have an entire Batman movie to the score of Smashing Pumpkins or something. I'm excited for the long Halloween. It's going to be great. Let's go ahead for this clip from Rudders. Why not? They'll give us some context. What the fuck? That was the intro, not that, bitch. Don't you play when I don't tell you to play, bitch. I want Rudders to play. Play, Rudders.
Warner Brothers is for sale.
There we go.
And the fate of Batman, Harry Potter, and the whole movie industry could lie in the balance. The 102-year-old studio owns the rights to Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and some of Hollywood's biggest franchises.
Harry Potter.
Three suitors are circling: Paramount, Netflix, and Comcast, which already owns Universal Studios and NBC. Here's what's at stake. American movie theaters have just had their worst summer since 1981, pandemic aside. Warner's had a hit with vampire film Sinners, but it wasn't enough to keep the studio off the auction block. Bidders have until November 20th to make their final offer. Paramount is seen as the front-runner. It's run by David Ellison, son of the Oracle billionaire Larry Ellison. Deep pockets and political connections could help seal the deal, which will need to be approved by the Trump administration. If Paramount wins, HBO, CNN, CBS, Star Trek and Batman could all be under the same roof. Comcast also wants in, and so does Netflix. California regulators say Netflix already dominates streaming, and buying more could violate competition laws. Netflix says
Agreed.
Its real competitor is YouTube. Whoever wins faces the same problem. Eyeballs have moved from movie theaters to smartphones, and no amount of corporate reshuffling will change that.
I mean, yeah, you kind of got to agree with that. The movie theaters are a little bit more dead. I mean, now that the Pope has announced that everybody needs to return to the theater, did everybody hear that? Pope Leo was like, everybody go back to the fucking theater now. And now everybody's going to listen because he had Hollywood he had the Hollywood gang, Judd Apatow and the whole squad over to the Vatican. They had babies. They enjoyed their blood, the adrenochrome. It was delicious. And all of Hollywood got 30 years younger. Paul Rudd got 50 years younger. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. Thank you to the Pope from Chicago. He's probably my favorite one yet. I'm already over Pope Francis a little bit. Like, he was nice, but this guy, he likes the hot dogs from Chicago with mustard. So, and that's a real G to me. So, folks, let's hop into the rapid fire section of today's headlines. Why don't we? There's a ton of shit to cover, and it's the important ones, about 9, 10, 11-ish, to keep your media diet healthy. Congress has passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The near unanimous vote, the United States and Senate approved legislation compelling the DOJ to release all Jeffrey Epstein-related documents, sending it to President Trump's desk for his signature amid widespread calls for accountability, which he has promised to sign into law. So we will see, folks. We will see if he's feeling generous, if he's feeling if he feels up to it. I think that would be really, really, really kind of him. Thank you. Trump has also defended the Saudi Crown Prince MBS on the murder of a journalist during the White House meeting with Mohammed bin Salman. Trump dismissed the United States intelligence on the 2018 killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, calling it old news and praising MBS as a key ally. You know, I would say, what does bone sawing that journalist have to do with where we are now? That was literally like 7 years ago. And if that lady who brought it up in the Oval Office, shame on her. Shame on her for trying to torpedo this beautiful mission in this beautiful gilded office. Listen, you're lucky we don't bone saw you. Like, you're next. If you don't shut your mouth and you don't let us go ahead and eat, I don't know, tilapia on this beautiful red carpet and like have a beautiful moment, and, you know, listen. The Mohammed bin Salman, he was like, you know why Osama bin Laden chose Saudis to engage in the 9/11? So that he would know that you would hate us, and that every time you hate us, you agree with Osama bin Laden. He like 4D chessed and backflipped his way out of that question. So beautifully handled by MBS and Trump. That's, you know, incredible moment by those two. And you know what? She is lucky that she is not dissolving in a bathtub in South DC right now. She is lucky. David, if you are all unfamiliar, I will pronounce his name the way that I do. D4Vid, the 20-something-year-old artist who made one decent song, which was You're Here With Me, and then the other song is dramatically overrated, Romantic Homicide. It's kind of ass. He's finally been considered a suspect in the death of his girlfriend that he killed. This is the OJ of our time, people. I feel as though he's probably going to get away with it. Who knows? But let's hear this. We knew that he was the first person after she was found dead in his Tesla.
Now to the major twist in the case involving a teenage girl's body found
Major
in the
twist.
car belonging to the singer David. Sources telling us that David is now considered a suspect in the death of 15-year-old
Major
Celeste
twist.
Rivas. No arrest has been made, but we're told David is not cooperating. Comes 2 months after Rivas' body was found badly decomposed in a car registered to the singer-songwriter. Now sources tell us her body was in fact dismembered, though the medical examiner has still not determined a cause of death. We want to note that we reached out to...
I think it was the cutting the bitch up part. I think that was what killed her. The fact that you found her head where her leg should be and her foot where her hand should be. I think that's what killed her. Like, call me crazy. I know I'm not Sherlock Holmes. I look at the girl in the pink dress, and she's like, her coat is still wet, so I know that she must have died in a certain period or whatever. Like, I'm not that. I'm not grautistic. But I think I know a thing or two about cutting a bitch up.
David's team, but we haven't heard back. Let's bring in our Alex Stone. He's on the story for us. What more do we know about David being considered a suspect now?
What do we know?
Investigators tell us that they are focusing in now and tightening in on certain individuals involved, and that nobody in the group around David is being excluded as a suspect.
That's
I had one
good.
investigator telling me that it is a fact that there are certain people in the group around him who were involved, who are getting concerned now as the LAPD is getting closer. So we know the investigation, Kira, it is advancing. It's been ongoing for 2 months now. They say they have been working diligently through it, trying to put pieces together, but her body was dismembered.
Exactly. So they literally, they got to put her back together. It's Humpty Dumpty. Listen, This is not fun. I don't love this, but this kid, he's going to jail. Let's hope that he's going to jail. That's all I can really say about this situation. Because that's all that he really deserves. That's the amount of attention he gets, and I will cover it when more develops. Otherwise, folks, Russia has launched a massive overnight attack on Ukraine. A barrage of drones kills at least 10 civilians and injures dozens in West Ukraine, targeting residential areas in Ternopil. President Zelensky heads to Turkey for peace talks, because, I wonder if he's going to wear something nice. I have no idea. Or if he's going to dress like the usual Peloton trainer that he does. Federal court strikes down Texas gerrymandering maps. A Trump-appointed judge ruled that Texas Republicans' 2025 redistricting plan was racially discriminatory, blocking it from diluting the minority vote power ahead of the 2026 midterms. A Trump-appointed judge ruled against Republicans in Texas. Wow. It's almost as though people are willing to hold up democracy and that they're not appointing a bunch of nuts. But hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe America is stronger than a lot of the people want to believe it is. Israel airstrikes kill 13 in Lebanese refugee camp. An attacker on the Palestinian camp in southern Lebanon left 13 dead and many wounded, escalating regional violence amid the stalled Gaza ceasefire efforts. Damn it, Lebanon, I get my shoes made there. U.S. airstrikes in Somalia kill 12 civilians. Oh no. Local reports confirm that a drone strike targeted militants but killed 12 civilians, including 8 children, prompting outrage over civilian casualties in ongoing counter-terror campaign. It's not fun. My Somali neighbors, I know that I do have many, and I'm in Minnesota, so I do have many. I'm very sorry that this happened. How do you say sorry in Somali? God damn it. Hold on a minute. Oh, I'll get it, guys. Don't worry. Boo, Somali. There we go. Sorry. Kazumehe. That's how you're supposed to say it. Sorry. Typhoon Kalmagi devastates the Philippines and Vietnam. The storm's death toll hit 142 in the Philippines, with 127 missing before slamming into central Vietnam. And it's worse. It's getting worse by the day. We just like to pepper that in here and there, just so that you know that the typhoon has not given up. Mount Semeru erupts in Indonesia. The volcano unleashed a major eruption with hot ash clouding reaching 3 kilometers, forcing evacuations and grounding flights, though no immediate deaths were reported. That's great. That's good to hear. Storm Claudia hits Western Europe. High winds and surges from the storm killed at least 3 in southern Portugal and injured dozens across Spain, disrupting travel and power in the region. Not fun. I don't love that. That's not good. And then finally, folks, our final major big headline that I think we need to cover before our third story is xAI seeks $15 billion in funding round. Elon Musk's xAI is raising massive capital for AI infrastructure, aiming to integrate Grok across X, Tesla, and beyond, fueling a global AI arms race. There is a big one going on. I feel as though this could be the next subprime mortgage drop, and this could be another 2008. Who knows when the AI boom could end up? I don't know. Who knows where it's going to go? I certainly am not making any predictions, although I may be. Depends on if I want to claim this as Nostradamus type, prophecies. Folks, this is our third story, and it's something that kind of brings a tear to my eye, because it feels as though it makes me remember that it's beautiful when humans share things, because it's when the Beatles come over to the United States and they're on the show, and then suddenly, like years later, you can hear it, I don't know, in a restaurant, and then This is a version of that. The Brits, folks, they're going nuts for country. The American classic genre is the fastest growing in the UK. Country music is no longer a fringe genre in Britain. It's having what many are calling a renaissance. According to BPI's most recent yearbook, country has accounted for 3.3% of all UK singles in the market in 2024, up sharply from 1.6% in 2022. Album consumption has grown too. The country made up 2.9% of the UK album sales and streams, its biggest share in decades. A key driver of its growth is a surprising mix of artists. Beyonce's foray into country with Cowboy Carter and Major Movement. Her lead single Texas Hold'em, which was garbage, it's not great, hit number 1 in the UK, and for some reason they heard that and said, "Wow, this is what Americans listen to. I love it." And then, meanwhile, Morgan Wallen and Post Malone's collaboration, I Had Some Help, debuted at number 2 on the UK singles chart. TikTok sensations like Shaboozie's song, like the Get Tipsy and whatnot, and Dasha Austin have played huge roles into bringing country into the broader pop conversation. It's getting big at streaming festivals. Part of the surge is thanks to, Spotify, Apple Music, making it a lot easier for the UK listeners to discover and dive into Americana. It's absolute. They're known for their radio stations like Absolute Radio Country and a C2C, Country to Country Festival held in London, Glasgow, and Belfast. It's built a devoted audience already. It's bizarre to see. Let's look at this clip from ABC News and you will believe me.
Country music has long been a powerhouse genre in America, but would you be surprised to know it's growing in the United Kingdom? It's
Show these fuckers Dewey Cox is what I'm trying to say.
gotten so big, a piece of country music history recently came to London. ABC's Maggie Bruley has more.
Cowboy boots, trucker hats, and all the country flair.
We did actually walk up and say, shall we talk American tonight?
Are you guys pumped to be here?
Yeah. Yes. Only we're not in Nashville. We're in London.
When you sing country music, is it an American accent or your British accent?
It has to be an American accent.
Really?
Yeah, it has to be the twang.
Country music was the fastest growing genre in the UK last year. Streaming of country songs doubled. And when the Grand Ole Opry took over the Royal Albert Hall in a sold-out concert, it seemed like a sign. Country music is here to stay.
They're starting to regret losing us. I think that's part of this. There's something in the British spirit. They know that the empire is finally... The sun will finally set on the British Empire. Everybody hates their king now. The prince just was publicly shamed. He had his fucking shit stripped of him, and now he's just Andrew. I'm sorry, I keep calling him a prince, but he's just Andrew Mountbatten. Like, the royals and the Brits in general they've had not a great last few decades. The fastest growing name in their country is Mohammed. I'm not sure how much, UK Union Jack spirit much of these people are having anymore. So, they are looking to cultures that they once dominated. They're looking to Australia. They're looking to America. They're looking to Canada. They're looking to all of their India, some of their African colonies. And they're investing in those cultures because they realize that their own is falling apart. And that's kind of beautiful. I kind of like the fact that we have won this cultural war to the point that they are culturally appropriating us. We're not just dreaming about living in London. Who's dreaming about living in London? You want to go on the 2-decker bus and then get stabbed by what's his name? I don't know, Leon. That's not a Saturday night for me. I'm good.
In a historic first, the 100-year-old institution that popularized the genre made its international debut.
How weird.
Traveling across the pond for a British hoedown at one of London's most iconic venues. Country superstars including Luke Combs, Darius Rucker, Ashley McBride, and Carly Pearce took to the legendary stage. We got a peek behind the scenes. You can just feel all the excitement and nervous energy, the anticipation for the big show. You know, these artists have performed at every major stage across the world, but this, the Grand Ole Opry at Royal Albert Hall, this has never happened before.
I'm good. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that they have that. Listen, there's a reason that this is just not a flash in the pan. With a solid infrastructure like festivals, the radio, the trade organizations, rising stream numbers, crossover artists, all that bullshit, Americana is like going to become a permanent fixture in the UK. It's going to become a permanent fixture in their musical landscape. More British voices are going to emerge in the genre. They're going to start getting obsessed with American style music, and it's great. It's great because eventually they're going to realize that they all want what we have. And that'll be the moment where we can fully restrict migration from the UK, and then we can seal ourselves off like Japan did back in the 1700s, and we can just sit and we can make everybody jealous. Isn't that what we all want, though? Don't we all just want to live in a country that makes the rest of the world jealous? If you're not honest enough to say that, I don't know if you're American enough to vote, quite frankly. I don't know if you're like, I don't want other countries to have as nice of things. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Are you America first, really? Are you really America first if you want people in Thailand to have running water? Are you really America first? I don't think so, buddy. Brits, please enjoy our culture. We enjoyed yours for the longest time. I had to grow up with annoying people my age that would watch like Doctor Who and things. I tried it out for a while. Like, I understand that it's aesthetically pleasing. I get the blue box that they like ride around in, and the portals, and it's aesthetically a pleasing show. But, your cities don't actually live up to it most of the time. I get that you all have castles and whatnot, but I get it. We don't have castles. We don't have very much there. But we have cities like Oakland. We have cities like Minneapolis. What do you have? We have freedom. And that's what everybody should remember, is that we have freedom. They can keep their tea and crumpets. I don't want it, and neither do you. Neither do you, Americans. All right, folks. This has been a wonderful Wednesday. We've covered quite a bit. This has been a wonderful recording. I am gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I appreciate the fact that you stayed as long as you have already. This was a wonderful time. Thank you so much for listening, folks. You didn't have to get your news, but I'm glad that you did from here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want more. That's the general gist of it. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. This has been your Brain on Air with Holly Boat Larson, and bye-bye.